It's come to my attention that someone out here is selling templated statements, so I'm going to make one and just give it to you for free. You'll be able to download this and copy and paste to do with whatever it is you want to do with it. I'm going to make this one for migraines, but you'll be able to plug and play as needed for whatever disability you're writing a statement for, and I'll show you how to do that. Of note, this is a template. You, the veteran, submitting the claim, need to put your truthful information into the statement, and it's my recommendation that the truthful information is backed by medical evidence. Medical evidence is good. Self-reports is bad. I'm going to put this in a Word doc that you'll be able to copy and paste this into your personal statement 4138. And yes, it doesn't matter if you're using a 4138 or a 10210, same. To start, if there was a totem pole of medical evidence, your self-reports are so low on the pole that no one cares about them. I understand YouTube really makes it seem like statements are going to win you your claim, and I'm just going to be straight with you. That's not the case. That leads to the importance of you, the veteran, getting the medical evidence that your statement will support. Statements support the evidence. Yes, technically speaking, the VA does consider your statements as evidence, and you'll really see that when we're talking about event-based statements. But if there is any competing evidence, like a CMP exam, all of a sudden your self-report means about diddly squat. So let's go ahead and jump into this template. Here is the template for migraine VA disability. Here I just put in the big three for direct and if secondary claims. And this is the templated of the template, if you will. I have some notes down here and we're going to go over this. Don't worry. The actual template is down at the bottom and I'll go over that too. So let's go all the way back up to the top. I've numbered these as 1, 2, 3. You ask me why? Because of 38 CFR. That's how the VA makes decisions, not really based on feelings, right? So the big three is the in-service event, the current diagnosis, and the nexus that links 1 and 2 to your military service. For secondaries, we have a service-connected disability, a current diagnosis, and then the nexus is linking the current diagnosis to the service-connected disability, right? So migraine secondary to tinnitus, 2 to 1. Here is the template. In red, you will see that I put evidence there. I can't stress this enough. You have to have medical evidence. It is absolutely critical for your VA claim. Most of the veterans that are being denied don't have medical evidence, and we'll get to that in a second. So my first paragraph here, my service treatment records reflect complaints. That's evidence right there. In, month, year, put whatever month and year complaints you have. For migraines and headache-like symptoms, events leading to the medical visit, I was involved in event A, event B, and event C, right? Something happened to cause those migraines in this instance. That occurred approximately month and year. Since my first, that's another medical evidence, visit for migraine headache-like symptoms, I've taken over-the-counter medication. So that is a self-report. Unless you have this like in your service treatment records, technically that would not be medical evidence, right? Just a self-report. For X amount of years and dealt with these symptoms as they increasingly became worse throughout my military service and life after service. We are building continuity there. So in this instance, we have an in-service event and we are building continuity, right? I've had these symptoms for this amount of time. I put notes down in here. Discuss your in-service event, right? Do you have complaints in your STRs? If so, annotate the month and year. Is there an event that occurred that would likely cause, in this case, migraines? If so, annotate month and year of the event and details of the event. Now, the second paragraph, getting to the current diagnosis to include symptoms, we have my VA medical records, evidence, or private records. And I have a note down here. If you have private medical records, you want to make sure you give the VA access to those records. So my VA medical records reflect current complaints of migraine headache-like symptoms. I have been prescribed a treatment plan. That is medical evidence. and name a medication and dosage, right? I have been taking this medication. That's medical evidence, especially if you're re-upping that prescription approximately 3 to 4 times per month. Now, you might say, where did I get that? All right. The answer is those are my symptoms and they're truthful and it's backed by medical evidence. But I also looked at the 38 CFR criteria and the DBQ for migraines to figure out, hey, is there a way I can annotate my symptoms that would match or line up with what the VA is looking for? Is there another way to describe symptoms? Absolutely. There's a billion ways to describe them. I'm going to recommend you describe them as the VA basically tells you to describe them as, since Title 38 and the Code of Federal Regulations is public knowledge, right? And then, of course, last several months, straight up from 38 CFR. I only take medication when my symptoms are more severe, leading to a migraine versus symptoms like a headache. So here, what I've done is I've kind of separated the migraines and headaches, right? Yes, they're rated together. Got it. Migraines are more severe, looking at it from a medical perspective. I take over-the-counter medication like Tylenol. Hopefully, you told your primary care physician this, and if so, that would be medical evidence. If not, again, not medical evidence, just a self-report. And the rule is no one cares about your self-reports. Just get that through your head. For headaches, which occur in addition to my migraines roughly 3 times per week, when I experience a migraine, my symptoms are, list your symptoms out. And this paragraph is really what you can plug and play with, okay? If you're writing a statement for your lower back or a foot condition or your elbow, whatever it is you're writing a statement for, really look at the DBQ, really look at the 38 CFR and how the VA rates your condition. Then your symptoms, right? Not symptoms that you found on Google, your symptoms that you have documented because we get medical evidence from our primary care and referred care. Those symptoms, put into your second paragraph. That is going to save you a lot of heartache, okay? Third paragraph, this one's kind of useless because the veteran can't make the nexus at all. It's more just a due diligence, right? Due to my STRs, the events that I believe cause these migraine headache-like symptoms, and my current evidence from the VA medical records or private, I request the VA service connect my migraine. So we cannot give the nexus, but we can summarize paragraphs 1 and 2 and kind of walk the examiner, or more importantly, the VSR, the rater, onto the correct decision, hopefully. And if secondary, the secondary aspect will change this just a bit, but you want to describe your evidence causing your current diagnosis, right? So if we're going migraine secondary to tinnitus, I would want you, the veteran, talk to your primary care or referred care and say, hey, doc, my tinnitus flares up. I get migraines, blah, 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 right? That would give you the current diagnosis. You're also making the connection between tinnitus and migraines. And that same concept works for whatever it is you're claiming. If you're going depression secondary to back, you need to talk about your depression and you need to talk about how your back is kind of aggravating and kickstarting your depression. Now, the actual template, and I just kind of put some baloney information in here, not to give too much, TMI of myself, but my service treatment records reflect complaints in October of 2012 for migraines and headache-like symptoms. Events leading to the medical visit, I was involved in a mortar range training incident where there was a short round landing less than 50 meters away from the gun line. Boom, there's the evidence. That occurred approximately September of 2012. Since my first visit for migraine-like symptoms, I've taken over-the-counter medication for 6 years and have dealt with these symptoms as they increasingly became worse throughout my military service and life after service. My VA medical records reflect complaints of migraine and headache-like symptoms. I have been prescribed a treatment plan with medication, sumatriptan 100 milligrams. I have been taking this medication approximately 3 to 4 times per month for the last several months. I only take the medication when my symptoms are more severe, leading to a migraine versus mild symptoms like a headache. Again, we're making the delineation. I take over-the-counter medication like Tylenol for mild headaches, which occur in addition to my migraines roughly 3 times per week. When I experience a migraine, my symptoms are sensitivity to light and sound, any type of movement, throbbing pain like my heartbeat is in my forehead. The reason why I wanted to put that is because you can talk plain language here, right? You're not a doctor. You can say exactly what it feels like. And if you've had a very severe, migraine that just lasts forever, the amount of time is something I did not put in here. That let's say generally last anywhere from, let's just say, 4 to 7 hours, and I'm making that up, right? But you would go off of your symptom. Due to my service treatment records, the events that I believe caused these migraine headache-like symptoms, and my current evidence from VA medical records. So we're looking at in-service events, a current diagnosis. We're looking at continuity. I request the VA service connects my migraines at the appropriate rating. There we go. You don't have to pay $300 for this. You have to pay, some. You just don't have to pay for a template. You could have ChatGPT this. We also have a video of that. I'll leave that below in the pinned comments. And pretty much, I just want every veteran to know, you really do not have to pay for any of this. Just be smart, be informed, be educated, and advocate for yourself and your VA disability claims.